Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host Brian, and joining me today from the West Coast, it's Andy Davis. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries. And when I saw your shirt, you were wearing the Morbid Angel shirt on your Facebook pic when I first reached out to you. And when I was seeing you with the drumsticks, I was like, he knows, he knows how to drum.
Sure.
That's for sure. Have you ever played any Morbid Angel songs, or is that just something you just do this for fun?
No, I've actually covered one Morbid Angel song. I did it a few years back when I used to play just a straight Alesis DM10 electric kit. Probably didn't turn out the greatest. I wouldn't mind redoing it on my new setup, but yeah, I did do one, at least that was up to my abilities, because, I can't do. I shouldn't say I can't do. I'm just not very good at doing like the really fast, machine gun double bass or blast beats or anything like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I want to guess. I want to say Where the Slime Live. Was that it?
No, I did something off of Gateways to Annihilation. I'm trying to remember what song it was. At One with Nothing, I think was what it was called.
I
I,
I would not
I'm
guess.
I like the Steve Tucker era of Morbid Angel. I saw them live a couple times, and it was just unbelievable.
Oh,
But I
really?
also like the David Vincent stuff too, though.
I've always loved how Pete Sandoval was back in the day because I messed around with a couple from the Covenant album. So
Mm-hmm.
that was just more of my workout routine, and then just something I do for fun. Really, haven't really gotten.
That's
I haven't shown a commitment yet, but I'm thinking sometime in the future I might just do it for fun, just see what
right.
happens. All right, so welcome to my podcast, bud. I just got some questions here for you. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with a simple one. Tell us a little bit about yourself, particularly your drumming history.
I started playing drums at age 11, and not too much longer after that. I think in my mid-teens, I started my first band with a neighbor of mine. Did that for a number of years. Mostly it was just a cover band until finally we decided to start writing our own songs, and then from there I branched off into another band, and that lasted for several years. And then I unfortunately had a health issue that kind of sidelined everything for me, and so I took a break from all of that stuff for quite a few years before jumping back in and doing what I do now.
Oh, sweet. Was it like a metal band you guys were into? Was it just like a cover band?
Yeah, no, the second band was an original band. Occasionally we would bust out some covers at, live shows and stuff, but for the most part it was all original. We toured regional tours out here in the Northwest. I got the honor for opening up for a few national acts back in the day, one of them being the old band Nevermore out of Seattle.
Mm.
That was a pretty killer show. Um, I opened for a band called Bile, who was also featured on the soundtrack for, I'm trying to remember the movie. It's not coming to me right now, but they were featured on a movie soundtrack, and those guys were pretty good. They were like a heavy industrial metal type, but it was cool, man. It was really cool. Those were fun times.
Oh, absolutely. You don't get a whole lot of the metal bands anymore. Like it was like after Ace Ventura with the Cannibal Corpse, they kind of moved away from that too. Now it's like we don't even put these kind of metal bands on here anymore.
Right, right, right.
I know Disney it's like no,
Yeah,
no, sir. No, we are not doing that or any sort of metal whatsoever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you said your neighbor, was that the same neighbor who was waving the Slayer flag outside?
No, no. In fact, when I found that Slayer flag, that's actually about 20 minutes south of where I live. I just happened to be driving through a neighborhood and noticed it. And from a distance, I was like, does that say what I think it says? And when I rolled up, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody's waving a Slayer flag in a vacation town right where all the vacation rentals are. So,
Yeah,
so it was pretty funny.
yeah, he'll be getting some protesters out there.
Yeah,
Actually, did it say fucking Slayer? It had to say fucking Slayer. It's a true
that's
fan. If not, take that flag down and burn it. That's not a true fan. It needs to say fucking Slayer on it.
that's right, man.
But happy retirement to him too. They get
Yeah,
some killer years together, so
yeah, yeah.
well deserved. And speaking of which, they say what happened with Kerry King. Did he kind of go off to do his own thing, or is he just kind of laying low for now?
The what I've read is that there's talks of him joining another band or starting another band, but I don't know. Everything's kind of on the down low, so it's not really known what's going to happen.
I forget who was the drummer. Was it Paul Bastiff or however you pronounce it?
Yeah, Paul Bostoff was
Bostoff.
the last drummer. You know, he's been the drummer I think since 2000. I think it was 2015 when they parted ways with Lombardo.
Something like that. I can't
Yeah,
remember. I know Lombardo, he was there, and I think he backed out maybe after some time, and then he came back and then
yeah,
left again, something like that.
yeah.
But I know Tom Araya was kind of just maybe not calling it quits, but just kind of like taking it easy for a little bit because I know he's got a lot of problems with his back and stuff like that. So,
Yep, yep. And no one wants to watch their kids grow up without him, man. So I think was one of the main reasons why they wanted to get out. Plus, you know, for the decades that they did it out on the road night after night. I mean, I saw Slayer live. I think I've seen him 3 times, maybe even 4. And yeah, it's crazy, man.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, talk about your kit right there. What brand is it? And then also talk about your sticks.
I've got a Pearl Export that I bought brand new in 1996, and about 2 years ago, I decided to do an acoustic to electric conversion, so the whole thing is electric now. And everything's powered through a 2-box drum at 3 module. I do not use any VSTs or anything like that. Everything is just straight module sound.
Oh, sweet. And then do you take that sound and put it in a DAW or something to kind of edit it a little bit, or?
No, I record straight to a Tascam DP006 6-track recorder, and then I have 3 cameras that I shoot with, and then I load everything onto my PC and mix it all together right from there. Kind of an old school way about doing it, but it's how I know how to do it, and I get the best results.
Absolutely, yeah. Go with the one that gives you the best results and everything.
Yeah.
And that was the same one you used for the Metallica Orion cover, right?
Yes, exactly.
That was killer too. But
Thank you.
I know Decrepit Birth, one of the technical metal bands, they did a cover of that song too. So it was a little bit of a step up, I would say. I prefer it over the original Metallica one, but
Sure.
to each his own. So
I haven't heard that one. Originally, the Orion cover was going to be a full band cover, but due to linking up with the other musicians in time, you know, that everybody has their own life and stuff, we just weren't able to make it happen. So I just eventually just put it out as a drum cover.
okay. And what brand are your sticks?
I use Collision drumsticks now. I used to use the Vic Firths, but I'm very happy with Collision drumsticks, and I've kind of got a partnership going with them at the moment. Nothing's really set in stone yet, but here in the next couple weeks, I hope to make a pretty big announcement, and yeah.
Just
Yeah.
for the audience out there, how many toms, cymbals, and everything do you have on your drum set?
Basically, what I did was I tried to replicate exactly what I used to play in live settings. So I have 2 16-inch crashes on the outside, 2 18-inch crashes on the inside, China to the right, 20-inch ride, 14-inch hi-hats. I've got the 2 22-inch kick drums, 12 13-inch racks, and then a 16-inch floor tom with 14-inch snare drum.
Oh, that's so killer, man.
Yep, everything's got Drum Tech real feel mesh heads on them, and yeah, this kit is fun to play, and it totally takes me back, you know, 20 years, 25 years ago.
That's what's so cool about it. Like now the electric kits, they now start to make them look like how the acoustic sets look now. So now you almost don't know the difference until you see what the module is too.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to run the Alesis DM10 module when I first put all this together. And then a year ago, I found a 2-box drum at 3 for half price through, I think it was Musician's Friend. So I jumped on it, and ever since I made that switch, the sounds are unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess what made you switch from the acoustic to the electric?
Mostly because, you know, I don't gig anymore. I don't play in live bands. I'm mostly a session drummer. And it doesn't make my neighbors hate me. And so it's more along the lines of I live in a quiet neighborhood, so I didn't want to really piss anybody off. And plus my wife, you know, I'm sure it's the last thing she wants to listen to is 2 hours of pounding on acoustic drums. So even though she's very supportive of it, but I do I do, have to, basically keep in mind her sanity too, because
The saying goes, if she's happy, I'm happy.
that's exactly right,
Oh,
man.
absolutely. And I guess who would you consider has been like your biggest influence? And I guess list off any other drummers you think have been influences in your life.
Well, the one that got me going was seeing Peter Criss perform on TV back in 1979 or 80, I think it was. And the flames and everything. And it's like, wow, that's what I want to do. And then, of course, as I started getting more and more into drumming, Lars Ulrich was a huge influence on me. A lot of the 80s thrash metal drummers, Charlie Benante, Garth Samuelson of Megadeth, even Dave Lombardo. And then as metal has progressed, I have actually progressed with it. So I'm like totally into the deathcore and metalcore bands now. And there's just some crazy stuff. So like right now, one of my most favorite drummers to watch on YouTube is David Diepold.
Which band is he from?
He plays right now with Obscura, and he's from Germany, I believe. And then he's also in a band called Cognizance, which is just off the hook, man. And then I also like Eugene Rabichenko, too. He's with Flesh God Apocalypse, and he's really good at what he does.
Flesh God Apocalypse. That drummer you mentioned, was he the one who played on the Violation song?
I'm not sure. I'm just now getting into their stuff because I honestly had never heard of them until he got in the band and I started watching some of his playthrough videos and then some of the live performance stuff. But yeah, it's actually really good, basically melodic death metal. It's really good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned the one from Megadeth because the one that always came to my mind was Nick Menza.
Oh, yeah.
And rest in peace. We lost him a good while back, and he was a great drummer, too. Fortunately,
yes.
Sad to lose him. But he's the first one that comes to mind, because I know Megadeth, they had jumped around so much back then because everybody was jacked up on whatever drugs they were doing and everything. So
yeah, exactly.
that was pretty much the norm of it, too. So I was trying to think. Did you get into, like, the 90s kind of death metal scene that came out? Like, all the big acts out of New York, Florida, and all those guys?
Oh, dude, I'm a huge fan of Death, Morbid Angel, you name it. I mean, there's so many good bands that came out of the Florida death metal scene, even out of New York, bands like Propane, Madball, love that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you have a favorite metal band, or do all of them really take the cake, really?
And if I have to pick one, this is tough. If I have to pick one band, I'm going with Death, man, because that stuff is classic. It never gets old, and Chuck Schuldiner was a genius.
Mm. Yeah, and was it Chuck Schindler or the frontman for it with the guitar player and the vocalist? Was that his name?
Schuldiner. Yeah,
Schuldiner. Sorry.
Yep.
And again, also rest in peace to him too. And
yeah.
But do you think it was them or Possess who were the main, or what's the word, progenitors for death metal scene? If I use that word correctly.
Well, Possessed, I think, was first, so I would have to go with Possessed.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. I love blasting death metal on my song at times.
I think Death's first album was 1985. I can't remember when Leprosy came out. I think it was 85, but yeah, no, Possessed was before them, man, because they're part of that San Francisco thrash metal scene, so...
Mm. I think it was Scream Bloody Gore was
that the first one? I thought it was Leprosy for some reason, but yeah. No, it goes back, man. That's dated stuff, and it still stands to the test of time. It's really good listen, and I never get tired of listening to Death, man.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially See Through Dreams. And that was also another song that Decrepit Birth had also covered too. So
nice.
You check it out too. It's actually pretty killer.
Yeah, I will.
All right, so getting back into drumming here. Did you start off playing drums, or did you do another instrument and work your way into drums?
Nope, I started with the drums. I wanted to play guitar, and I had, I think, 2 lessons on guitar, and then the guy that was teaching me, something happened in his family, and he said he wouldn't have the time to do it anymore, and so I had the opportunity getting into middle school to get in the band, and I just was like, well, yeah, I can play drums. And even though I lied, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. But I figured it out, and I learned how to read music, and I took drum lessons for a short time, and just went with it. My parents were really supportive when I was a kid, which really helped. So my dad actually bought my first drum kit for me. We soundproofed a room in the house downstairs, so I didn't have to bother them. And no, it was a good thing. You know, I had supportive parents, and it was just something that I really loved doing and do to this day.
Oh, that's so sweet, man. It's also good having the support of your parents too.
Yeah.
Do you plan on integrating anything else into your drum set? Maybe do something with percussion in the future?
You know, I never really thought about it because mostly I play hard rock, heavy metal. Occasionally I'll play some classic rock. So everything's pretty much just straight drum oriented. You know, it has crossed my mind about maybe buying a multi-pad or something, but right now I just don't really have any of the songs that I would need to use something like that for. So honestly, I'd have to say at this time, not at the moment.
Understandable, yeah.
And
looks
all
like
my
your space.
and all my inputs are filled up on the module too, so I'd have to get a second module going if I do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna say, it looks like you're tight on space too. So that's another thing.
Yeah, it's not very big in here.
All right. What do you love most about drumming?
It's a nice stress reliever for me, and I just enjoy playing because I like to you know, kind of push myself to see what you know, kind of songs I can play these days, because I'm no spring chicken anymore. So it's kind of fun to just push myself and see what I can do as far as like speed with double kick, or even trying to learn how to do blast beats correctly. And you know, there's always something that keeps me really interested and wanting to stay fresh and on top of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have a YouTube channel? I think I missed any post. I saw your video on Facebook, so I didn't know if that was for your YouTube channel.
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. It's ASD Drums over at YouTube.
Oh, sweet. I guess, when did you start it?
The YouTube channel has actually been going since 2010. The last band that I played in, I was really good friends with the bass player. We were pretty much like brothers, because not only were we the rhythm section, but we got along great. We partied all the time, you know, after shows. We went to concerts together. He unfortunately passed away in 2007. And so that's the whole reason why I started that page, was to just, you know, highlight his talent, because he was out of all the bass players I've jammed with over the years, that guy was the best. I had never seen somebody play like that, you know, in person, other than, you know, going to see like Rush. You know, you go watch Geddy Lee play bass and you're just blown away by that. Well, my buddy Tim, he was really good at it, but like I said, unfortunately he passed away. And so I just wanted to kind of showcase all the videos. And then one day I started seeing guys doing drum covers, and I'm like, well, hey, I want to do that. You know, and so I started off with just a camera, playing the acoustic, this exact kit when it was still acoustic. So the sound wasn't good. It's all, you know, camera microphone, tinny sounding. And then I got my first electric kit, and I noticed guys were doing drum covers on electric kits. And I'm like, well, hey, I want to do that. So I got into doing that. And then when it came to the conversion kit here, I saw guys with that, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, let's hold on here. How do you do that? And there was a couple guys that steered me in the right direction and were a great help. And so that's where I ended up today, was with the Acoustic to electric. And it was great because these drums had sat in the garage for, 10 years or better, and they were freaking filthy and had mold on them. I mean, dude, it was bad. And so I resurrected them, got them all cleaned up and shiny. And yeah, like I said, so I've had this kit since 1996, and I did not want it to go to the dump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's best to hold on to those babies as long as you can, too.
Exactly.
Just say, on the third day, he brought his kit out of the garage and cleaned it up and brought back his metal skills and all that.
That's exactly right, man.
There we go. Make a little biblical reference too. So,
Right.
all right. I guess, what are your goals and plans for your YouTube channel going forward in this year and beyond?
Of course, I'd love to see more subscribers and everything. The interaction with the subscribers that I do have is great because I do have, a fairly decent devoted fan base. They watch every video. I honestly don't know if they watch from start to finish, but at least that they're checking it out, and the positive interactions that I get, that's what keeps me doing it. And if I can jam with other musicians, collaboration type videos, that's always a bonus, and then just going forward, I mean, just to keep to do the same thing. I don't do this to make money. I mean, it'd be nice if I could, but other than that, I just do it out of my own enjoyment, and like I said, with the interactions with other people that see the videos is always positive enough for me.
Absolutely, yeah. I guess, what were the big challenges when you first started off on YouTube? Was it just trying to find the people, or did you just throw a video out there and see what it does?
That's pretty much it. I post a video and see what it does. Some videos I have on the channel have done fairly well over the years. Others not so great because heavy metal drumming isn't for everybody. I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's an acquired taste. So if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, that's pretty much it.
I've always noticed with kind of some of my drum covers I do, it seems like the more popular the metal band is, like Napalm Death, for instance, it seems like you get a good amount of views like those videos, because my most watched video right now has been Unfit Earth from Napalm Death. So,
wow.
And that one, I would say, not the greatest, but I just gave it a shot and just rolled with it. And I mean, I got over 1,500 views, and that's a little over a year, so I'm at least happy about that. So,
oh, nice.
And then it seems like, do you sometimes get like the negative comments too about it, like saying you're doing something wrong or something in a foreign language?
Not really. I mean, I've had a few negative comments, but mostly what I get is you didn't play it like this, and I'm like, my best response to that is, well, when you post your drum cover, let me know and I'll check it out. Because if you can do it better than me, then that's great. But I don't go on and critique other drummers. I don't feel that's right. I mean, if people want to critique me, that's fine. You can have your opinions and stuff. And I try not to engage in the negativity.
Absolutely. We got enough drama already. Can we please stop with the drama, people?
Exactly.
Absolutely. I know a couple with the Napalm Death that I did, they've been like foreign language or saying that you're not doing it right and stuff like that. I just remove it all off.
Yeah.
But there's like people who don't really have that many subscribers or anything. So, it's the cave troll of Moria, as I like to call it, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and I guess, I was trying to think of another thing with YouTube. Do you do like other collaborations with like other musicians, like bass, guitars, or just strictly with drums?
No, I have done, those are the only collaborations I've done is with guitar players. I did one with a vocalist last summer where we covered Bled for Days by Static X. It turned out really well because the guy could sing it pretty good. I mean, for covering Wayne Static, which is no easy feat at all, this guy did pretty good. And he also played guitar on the track too. I think the best jam sessions I've ever had, though, was with a guitar player from Malaysia. That guy is a shredder. And we did a cover of Megadeth's Hangar 18. It was like, I mean, even to this day, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think we kicked ass on that song, and it came out really good.
Well, especially, too, because Hangar 18's like got more of the solos on it.
Oh, and he did it all note for note, man. If you see that video on my channel, it'll blow your mind to watch Boozer play the guitar, doing both rhythm and lead. So basically, what he would do on his end is he, of course, would play both the guitar parts. He has a computer program to simulate bass guitar, so he was able to program that. And then we just used Dave Mustaine's vocal track on top of it. So the vocals were there. And yeah, it turned out really well.
That's so sweet, dude. I think I'm gonna have to go check that out because it does sound pretty sick.
I'm working on one right now. We're doing Ace of Spades by Motorhead, so hopefully this one will come out good. I just laid the drum track for it last weekend, and I'm waiting to hear back from the other guys that are going to play the guitars and the bass on it to see where they're at with it. So hopefully here in the next few weeks we'll have that one ready to roll out.
I always love the lyric from Ace of Spades. You know it's gonna be the Ace of Spades.
That's right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we know too many people who have passed away from many great bands. So
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate too. So rest in peace, Lemmy. And we always missed you, brother. I guess which song did you really like from Motorhead? Is it just Ace of Spades, or is there any other ones?
Oh no, I like "Killed by Death" is a good classic. Of course, the song "Overkill" is an awesome one. Then there was a song that they did, a newer one that I really dug because it had Mickey D, on drums. I think it was called "Burner," and I think it was from 2006, if I remember right. But that's probably wrong. But yeah, it's with the title "Burner," it's definitely a burner, man.
Yep. I'm so bad, baby. I don't care. That's what it was. Yeah, I was trying to remember what the one song title was. And that would honestly be my nice little slogan too if I was doing some sort of major career that was like big and famous and stuff like that. And that would be my big slogan. I'm so bad, baby. I don't care, or something like that. And then I was trying to remember what was another one. Oh yeah, We Are the Road Crew. Yes, from their first album. That was
Yeah.
That one's always been a fun one too, and I know just blasting it whenever I hear it come on the radio too.
Yeah.
I guess going back into your channel, what do you hope to achieve on your YouTube channel? Do you hope to be like some sort of influencer, or just kind of say like, hey, here's how I played it?
Mostly I'm just like, hey, this is my take on it. I try to play my covers not exact, but almost exact. And the one thing that I take pride in is that every single one of my covers, there's at least one mistake in it. Because I'm not that guy that's going to go, oh, I missed the hi-hat hit, I got to start it over and do the whole thing over again. But occasionally you might hear me dragging a little bit, or I may rush a little bit, or there's just something that I usually miss. But for the most part, I that's how I go about it. I don't edit that stuff out, and I don't re-record, and it's a one take, and that's it.
Yeah, I kind of suffer from a little bit of the perfectionist side to it because I've done a couple from Silverstein, and I felt like I had to go back and correct certain spots because there's certain spots in like the song where he throws in like maybe a tom here and there, and I'm always like, damn it, how did I miss that, or something like that. I know the song November was a little bit of a nightmare too because it always happened during the choruses where he just had toms here and there, and it progressively got harder as it kept going up. So,
sure.
So you can imagine how much of a headache that was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And do you do like any other big projects? I guess. Do you like try to cover like a whole album at times, or?
No. Basically, what I do for when I'm going to shoot videos is I'll sit down. I just kind of go through my song list in my MP3 player, and whatever jumps out, it's like, oh, hey, I want to try that, and I try to start with something easy as a warm-up, and then I'll work my way up. Like one song I've been trying to nail down is the Serpentine Offering by Dimmu Borgir, but it's a little tricky with the double kick. I mean, I did have it at one point, and then I had to take a break from drumming for about a month and a half, and I lost the speed, so I've been trying to get that back up.
He lost the talent, unfortunately. He was deprived of him. But actually, that's pretty cool. Dimmu Borgir, that's actually always extremely tough too, because I know Charlie Benante in one of his interviews had talked about it, and I forget what album it was from Dimmu Borgir. I think it was that Puritanical or whatever it's called. I think he was talking about how he had just taken the drumming to a whole nother level because I guess he was doing Gravity Blast or what have you on it. So
yeah,
I have seen shirts, and I kind of wish at times I had actually listened to him, but I'm not too crazy in the black metal. I tend to like just stick with the death metal and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
But at times I do like listening to like Behemoth at times and hear how Inferno did it back in the old days.
Oh, old Behemoth is awesome, man. The Apostasy. I was just watching some of that live show Friday night. I'm just like, wow, I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot how good this was.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm just stunned too with like
Oh
how
yeah.
precise he was and everything, and even still able to keep time when it's like you're practically blasting too, because you got the double kicks and everything; those are blasting out. I'm curious, like how you even hear what the guitars are doing. So you have to like make sure you're looking up at times and see like what's your bass, your guitar players, what are they doing and everything. So
Yep.
absolutely, hats off to Inferno.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Um,
All right. So, all right. I think when I was looking at your Facebook page, I think when you had Percussion, you said you were a session musician
yeah.
or something like that. Talk about that a little bit.
I've recorded being invited in with other bands and recorded some stuff in the studio with them. Mostly I've just done live performances with other bands when their drummer was out. And kind of like now with my collaboration stuff that I've done with a few different guitar players on YouTube, and that's pretty much where it's at. So, I mean, anybody who wants to hire a drummer, here I am, man.
That's good. Is that your only job, or do you kind of do like any other ones?
No, I have a day job. Unfortunately, I gotta pay the bills and got a house to keep. So yeah, I unfortunately have to do the Monday through Friday thing. But other than that, it's not so bad.
The 9 to 5, the one that pays for the health care. That's what we
Pretty
say.
much.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yes.
And supports my habit here.
Yes. Our little habit when we come into the nighttime sequence or something like that. So
Yeah, exactly.
do you eventually want to turn it into your full-time profession as a session musician, or do you like what you're doing right now?
Oh no, absolutely. If I could pay the bills just by sitting behind the drum set, absolutely, that's what I'd want to do. But it hasn't worked out up to this point, so I just keep the day job, and like they always say, never quit your day job, man. So
Yeah. Yeah, we got to keep the wife happy too. So
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I guess. Shoot, I just had the question. I just lost it. Damn it. I was trying to remember. I was trying to think of something else to say because I know. Oh yeah, it was about touring. Did you guys do any touring back in the day when going back to your cover band and I guess that original band you were with? Did you guys do any sort of touring?
The cover band, no. We mostly played just locally at all the beer joints and private parties and stuff like that. When I was with the original band, though, we hit the road and doing regional tours. So like we'd go as far as Seattle, because I'm right outside of Portland, Oregon. So we'd go as far as Seattle. We went as far east as Missoula, Montana. And then there was talks of going down into California, but that never materialized. And then we, like I said, we recorded our first record and things were looking good. But then, with my health issue, I actually ended up having to bow out and I couldn't do it. And then I had to come to the realization that there's no way I could be a touring drummer and still stay healthy. So that's basically why I do what I do now.
For the shows that you did do, I guess what was the hardest thing about getting set up for a show?
Well, like with any local band or in the local scene, when you've got 10 minutes to get your stuff set up, a 30-second sound check, and then away you go. And then you have 10 minutes to get your crap off stage, even though you've just spent 45 minutes up there sweating your ass off. I mean, they give you just that little amount of time to get your stuff off stage. And that was the worst part for me. But
Have you always lived in Oregon your whole life, or have you kind of jumped around a little bit?
Nope, I've always lived here, born and raised Oregonian. Although the wife and I have talked about moving out of Oregon a couple times recently, but our jobs is what keep us here.
They pay well too, and they help pay the bills.
Yeah, that's why we stay, because the jobs pay pretty good. We were able to get a nice house, and so yeah, we're probably at least 5 years, maybe 10 more before we'll talk about moving out of state.
I guess how's the climate been in Oregon? Has it been calming down and everything? Everyone's kind of chill and mellow and everything?
Not really. I mean, like I said, I stay out of downtown Portland as much as I can because it just is not the city that I grew up in and partied in and did all the local showcases in down there. And yeah, it's just not the same anymore.
Mm. And I know that's pretty unfortunate too. So let's
Yeah.
avoid the politics. We'll just say that. We'll avoid the politics.
I stay away from all of that stuff, man.
Absolutely too. You and me both. Though sometimes it still seems to creep in at times.
It does. It does.
All right. So let's see where we at. COVID. Okay. I guess how bad did COVID affect you and your community, and I guess you and your family?
Well, fortunately for here in my household, neither me or my wife have contracted COVID. We both are vaccinated. I got the booster because I'm immune compromised, so it was pretty much an essential thing for me to do. Around in the public, though, I honestly do not really go out. I haven't been really anywhere in over 2 years because of it.
Hmm. I guess how did it affect your session musicianship, so to speak? I guess that little kind of side hustle you were trying to do.
Honestly, it never really did. I just kept doing what I was doing, and I'd go to work, I'd come home, that was it, man. And I'd sit behind the drums and do what I need to do, and that, like I said, that was pretty much it, man.
Hmm.
I just kind of stay away from everybody and keep in my own little world, you know.
Absolutely. I guess. Would you say it was kind of a blessing in disguise?
Well,
Maybe for you, but obviously not for everybody. But
yeah, I was just gonna say, well, for me, probably, but for the ones that unfortunately succumb to it, yeah, it's kind of a scary thing. I mean, like with my health issues, especially with when it first hit, we were afraid that if I got it, I'm dying, and so my wife was like, I will handle all the grocery shopping. You just go to work, you come home, that's it. I'll take care of everything else. And to this day, it's still kind of that way. I mean, even though the mask mandate's been lifted, there are cases though that still pop up out here, and it definitely is an eye opener, especially for me. It's like, well, I don't want that, and I've talked to people that have had it, and they say how horrible it is, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't been sick in over 2 years, so I'm good, man. I'll stay right here,
Did your main job, they allow you to work from home, or do you always have to go into the office?
No, I have to go into the office, and fortunately, the people I work for, it's a small family business. They're very well cognitive of the fact of how bad this can be, because the owner, she's immune compromised as well, and I believe there's one other person that's immune compromised there too. So part of my job is I have to go out and do rental inspections. So I'm going into people's units, so I'm wearing gloves and a mask, and I still keep my distance from them, but I'm at least, I've got some personal protective equipment on, and the hand sanitizer, the whole 9 yards, man.
That's good. Yeah, it's good to see. It made you more aware of like how
Yeah,
something you can't see can kill you.
Exactly.
That's the unfortunate thing too. It's good to see you and your family made it through. That's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
I know for me, when it first hit back in March in 2020, I'll tell you a funny story afterwards, but when it hit in March 2020, obviously nobody knew how long it was going to be, and that was actually the first time I started working from home for my main job, and I still have a good job. I'm still working at the same place and everything. I've been here literally 2 years. I have not gone back into the office at all, really.
Wow.
So, and I like it too, because I'm obviously saving money on gas. I'm not having to worry about paying for a garage or anything like that downtown or anything. So,
Right.
the funny thing about it was my mom had retired, and she dealt with stuff, we call it crisis management, in the place that she worked at.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody said, the day you retire, the whole world is going to go to shit. And sure enough, she retired that year, and, well, you know what happened.
Yeah, everything went to shit.
Everything went to shit. So apparently hindsight is 2020 right now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
We still kind of poke fun at her for it, but we knew she wanted to get out of there, so it was good to finally call quits and just retire.
Excellent. Yeah. As much as I don't want to get older, but I can't wait for the day that I don't have to walk out the door and go do the Monday through Friday thing anymore, man. Or if I could work from home, that would be the way to go too.
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to work from home too, that's what allowed me to actually start doing this podcast. So that's why
Nice.
that's why I was happy to actually get out and reach to drummers like you and even the community that I've been a part of, which I started off with like 200 drummers. Well, I think everybody pitched in at some point, but the two that they mostly give credit to has been Drums by Ashwells and Drumman 190, who've really been very supportive. They've been very helpful to us, and a lot of other interviews that I've had, you kind of learn a lot about the struggles that some people went through. I've heard stories where people lost family members or they went through an addiction or something like that. So
Yep.
every story is powerful too. So yours, you say you kind of had a little bit of a health issue. It was kind of an unforeseen circumstance, and it seemed to put a hamper on, I guess, your touring career. Or I guess if you didn't get that, do you think you would have became a touring band at some point?
Yeah, I think something could have happened because I definitely would have just kept, trying to progress up the ladder. But yeah, everything happens for a reason, man. So when it hit me, I mean, of course, my world was shattered and I just didn't really know what I was going to do at that point. And then, like I said, when I started seeing the drum cover videos, it's like, well, hey, I can do that because I don't have to worry about getting to the venue, setting the gear up, playing the gig, taking the gear off stage, breaking it down, on all the stuff that goes with live performances and everything. And so that's why I was just like, well, hey, if I can at least get my name out there and get a small following, I'm good with it,
Absolutely. And you're more than welcome to join our drum community too.
I definitely will do that.
Reach out to Drums by Ashwells, or if you just want to do Ashwells, I think they'll show it too, or Drumman 190, one of those two.
I do know of Drumman 190. He's been quite a help to the drumming community over the years, and he's a good drummer too. He's got nice gear. I actually saw that his basement flooded. I think that was last year. And he had a lot of damage and a lot of lost equipment down there, which is a shame to see. But hopefully he's back up and running again. I haven't seen anything from him in a little while, so
he has been back up. I've been seeing some videos, so it looks like he's got back to normal, so to speak.
Okay. That's good because the video I saw, he had to have had about 3 feet of water in his jam room down there. So that's not fun for anyone, man. Especially when you got thousands of dollars in gear,
Absolutely too, and I think he had a drum from one of the drum makers. His name is Eric, and I think he provided him with the snare.
So yeah, I know Drummatic too.
Yeah, Drummatic. He's a part of our group too.
Nice. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. God bless him too.
Yes.
All right. So we now reach that part of the podcast where now I give my interviewees a little bit of freedom to ask me anything, or if there's anything you want to get off your chest. So fire away.
Wow. Now I'm on the spot.
Yep.
I've honestly never seen any of your drum covers. What kind of kit do you play?
Mine is a straight electric kit. It's not as fancy as yours, but it's a Roland TD25K, and it's one I've been rolling with a good number of years for now. And I've always loved it, and I've kind of just stuck with one particular setting. I've always kept it on rock because I love the way the bass always sounded on it, because it was like a hard thump.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I've always liked that, and I'm sure even my toms and everything else don't really sound right, but I'm just like, I'm rolling with it because this is what I'm doing. But when I do my drum covers, I bring it in through my DAW, and I do it all through MIDI, and then I just do Superior Drummer and stuff like that just to make whatever sounds good, or at least as close to the song, but it's my drumming that you're hearing. So
okay, awesome. I'll have to check that out and subscribe to you.
Yep. And I've obviously told you I stuck with some of the death metal stuff, but one of the ones I consider like my proud project was Both Throwers, the Fourth Crusade.
Okay.
I say 10 songs because I didn't care for like the very last one, Throughout the Ages, because that one was, I call it filler because it really wasn't anything. It was just kind of like a brief history of like all the wars that happened, and the drums in it were real simple. I'd never really been a fan of that song, but I did all the other 10, which, and it's still one of my favorite albums from them. So I was really happy to finally do that whole album.
Awesome.
Guess, got anything else or anything in particular?
Let's see. You got the rolling kit. How long have you been making the drum cover videos for?
Well, I started YouTube a couple years back, and back then, obviously I had the job and everything, so I was able to pay bills and stuff like that. So it was really at first just a hobby, but then when I started seeing the small subscriber count going up, I thought maybe I could do something more with this. So it started simple, and I go back to both of her because my first video was No Guts, No Glory. That was my first song.
Okay.
And then I actually do remember the first couple of videos. No Guts, No Glory, and then it was Weak and Powerless by A Perfect Circle. And that one I actually did right on the spot too because I've been meaning to do a different song that day, but I decided to do Weak and Powerless instead, and then I just rolled with it, and I was actually pretty happy how it came out.
Excellent. Very cool. What brand of sticks do you use?
I use Vic Firth.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't feel I need to really change it up too because, and I guess what made you switch from Vic Firth to the Collision?
I just wanted to try something different because I've used Vic Firth basically since the beginning. You know, the Vic Firth 5A nylon tip was a great stick for me, but I like a little bit of reach. So here's a Vic Firth 5A compared to the Collision.
It's longer. Wow.
I like the longer stick. The Collision has a great feel to it, you know, and it's just, if I could play these acoustically, I would totally love these sticks because I bet they would stand up. They're very well made, solid wood. But the one thing I noticed I don't think they have yet are plastic tips. Collision's a fairly new company from what I understand. Based out of the UK. And they're basically trying to just get their foot in the door and get their name out there to other drummers. And ever since I got these, I have not picked up a pair of Vic Firths. I've been using these strictly, and in fact, I'm still waiting for. I've got another set of Collisions coming because these are the 5A Reach model, so they're a little bit heavier than a normal 5A, but they're also longer than a normal 5A. But I do have a set of their regular 5As on the way, which will be just slightly shorter than these, and I think will weigh maybe half an ounce less. Yeah.
Are they don't do like a whole lot of recoil after you hit like a snare or a cymbal or anything like that? Are they pretty good with that?
No, everything's pretty solid, man. Yeah, there's really no recoil that I can think of. But of course, I'm playing on mesh heads too, though. If I was playing on actual drum heads, I don't think that would be an issue at all.
I see.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I don't know if I ever changed, really, to be honest, because, I mean, I've been very good with Vic Firth. I think mine's kind of a little bit of a jam kind of drum set, too, because I like it close, so I'm able to, like, move real fast between my toms or anything like that.
Oh, sure.
And I know my floor toms are kind of in a bad spot because my ride's just right above them, too, so if I come up, I can probably accidentally lose my sticks and stuff like that, so...
Yeah.
So that's the unfortunate thing. So I feel like the longer reach, even though it does look like it would be a promising feature, it might be a problem if I'm trying to like get out of the floor toms or anything like that, and I accidentally hit my ride. So
yeah. I sit back a little farther from the drums. I'm not like right up on top of them. With the technique I use for my double bass, I like to sit back and have my leg kind of angled like this. That way, it's mostly ankle motion I'm going with when I'm getting the faster tempo double bass and stuff, and I just feel sitting back further helps, and especially with the reach of the cymbals, you know.
All right, that's pretty sweet. I guess, do you have any other questions or anything else you would like to get off your chest before we jump to the last question?
Just really appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you for reaching out.
No worries. But I knew, like I said, when I saw the Morbid Angel shirt and the sticks, I knew.
Nice.
He knows. All right. So, last question for you. And this one I always like to ask all my drummers because I like to know what sort of message they can give to other people out there who've perhaps have not been very fortunate or anything like that. So, what sort of message of hope can you give to other drummers out there or musicians who've perhaps struggled with COVID or anything like that? And what sort of message can you give them?
Just, be positive, stay strong, and, always know that there's a brighter day out there. I mean, every day is different, and don't let things get you down. Just stay positive, and try to be the best person you can. That's pretty much it. There's enough hate in this world. We don't need any more. And yeah.
Absolutely. We got too much drama is probably what you should say. Too much drama in the world.
There's way too much drama going on, whether it's, politically or, I mean, it's just everywhere, and it's being force fed to you on the news. I mean, like I said, I try to ignore a lot of it and just live my own life and be as positive and kind to others and just try to help out where I can. But yeah, just like I said, stay positive and just think good thoughts and, work hard and things can happen for you.
Sweet. Spoken like a true prodigy.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. All right. So I guess before we wrap up, is there any shout outs or anything you'd like to say before we officially close out here, bud?
I'd just like to say, check out my YouTube channel. You can catch me on Facebook. Of course, I love my dear wife. That's pretty much it.
I guess anywhere else? I guess I know you're on Facebook. Are you on Instagram or any other socials or anything like that?
I do have an Instagram, but I'm kind of at fault there because I don't really keep it as updated as I do the YouTube and the Facebook, and that's kind of where I get off track there. But I do got to catch back up onto Instagram, and yeah, I'm at ASD Drums on Instagram as well.
Any website or anything like that?
No, I do not have a website.
All right. All right, Andy. Well, we've reached the end of my podcast, and we've almost talked for a good hour here, buddy. So,
wow.
I guess anything else before we? I know I've been saying it, but I always like to at least get any last words in. So, you all good?
No, I'm good, man. Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity and for sitting down with you and the discussion, and I had a great time.
No worries. All right, everyone. My guest today was Andy Davis. He hails from Oregon, session musician. I'm trying to work on my English. I think COVID's really messed with my English lately. So, and true metalhead right here too. And he's probably gonna go burn that Slayer flag because it does not say fucking Slayer on it. It needs to say fucking Slayer.
I'm gonna go down there and steal it off that flagpole and burn that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, Andy, thank you so much again for coming on, buddy.
You bet. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Stay safe.
You
stay tuned. There we go.